Well, good morning troops. Another day, another drain, and just lost a big rudd. Oh my days. Well, you know, it's one of those things. Marvellous hooks. Been fishing away for about half hour now. I'm actually out here. I'm after some Fenland drain carp today. But I can't just sit on my thumbs behind 3 rods waiting for it to happen. I have to have a bit of sport and a bit of, I'm on a drain or a river, so I've set up a float rod. And as you could see from the intro, I was pre-baited the evening before on the way to work. Come out this morning, got 2 rod approach for the carp. The right hand rod is a boilie approach, and the left hand rod is mixed particles with tiger nut fished over the top approach. And the reason I'm fishing for carp is, are there any around? That's your first question. Now I've seen a common in here the last time I fished it. High teens, low 20s. Hard to tell in the water. But yeah, it was a lovely fish. Beautiful common. And made up my mind now, I'm going to try and have you. So if you're going to be targeting drains, and even rivers for carp, you've got to have to, location's the key. If you haven't seen the fish personally, you've got to check out where there's human activity. Believe it or not, these drains and these rivers, there's miles of countryside. The carp tend to congregate where there's human activity. And what I mean by that is moorings. You get people, they throw scraps of food off the side of their boat. Get kids out with their mum and dad feeding the ducks and the swans. They're used to bread and stuff going in. In the winter, built up areas, water temperature's warmer, slightly higher, more sheltered from other predators like otters, cormorants, etc. So unless you've actually physically seen them and you want to start targeting them, they're the areas to look at. Your built up areas or your areas where there's human activity. But as I say, I've seen one. So my approach today is just your bog standard set up lead clip. That's all it is, nothing fancy. Your smaller hooks, I'm using smaller hooks than I would on a carp lake. The simple reason that is if I do get any pickups from any tench, etc., I don't want a great big size 4 or size 6. So I'm fishing with a size 8 there. On my particle rig I've got size 10. So I'm wanting a single tiger nut. That's how I've been float fishing there, and I've just lost a rudd about 2 to 3 pounds. It was nice. I can't believe I lost it. What happened was I was playing it no problem. and it darted under the carp line, so I've held my rod low, and it's just managed to make the reeds. As soon as it made the reeds, it shed that marvellous hook, and I saw it. Beautiful rod. So I'm going to crack on, going to get this carp rig out, going to carry on with the old fishing in the middle of the swim with worms and single grains of corn and worm corn cocktail, see how we fare. But at the moment I've had a good start. I've had some lovely roach about the size of my hand. I've lost the biggie. Let's see, I hope we ain't going to rue that. Let's crack on. The crosswind is making it very difficult to get out where I want to get out, where the rudd are. I'm hoping it's tench out there, but the rudd seem to be in ascendancy. There were a couple of tench rolled when I first got here. So I put on worm and corn cocktail, but the rudd just kept hitting that. So I've gone single grain of corn with this rudd. I say I've had some lovely fish out. Lost a beautiful fish. Fish of the season I've lost, but can't dwell on it. Although I've mentioned it about 50 times since this happened. And I might have to change tactics slightly. That ripple from that crosswind is also making it difficult to see the lift bites. I mean, some you can't mistake. The float comes out of the water about 3 or 4 inches. But the real delicate lifts, especially sometimes from the tench, you're not going to see with that ripple. I haven't even had time for a breakfast yet. I ain't had a cup of coffee, nothing. It's overcast, so it's supposed to be hot again. It's always hot at the moment, but with this overcast weather, I was hoping the tench would put in an appearance. There's no fizzing. I did see some roll. I just want to see if there's anything around on the drop. I put a lighter shot on. That's why it's up in the air like that. There we go. As soon as you see an alien movement with a float, you know it's on. It's smaller, a lot smaller than what I was catching on the bottom. Old faithful disgorger. Yeah, I might go back down to the bottom. If they're that stamp, at least the ones on the bottom were a hell of a lot bigger. One more. I think we'll get a bit of bait out there. Oh, that was crap. Slightly, well, it felt slightly better at first. Oh, it might be. It's pulling back a little bit. Yeah, it's a little slightly better one. Yeah. This is the sort of fish I was catching. Oh, come on. This was the sort of fish I was catching first thing on the bottom. I mean, look at that. Beautiful, isn't it? Let's get it back. So they're out there. Hopefully there's some bigger ones out there. It's a bit clumsy of rig because all I've done is taken my telltale shot from the hook, taken it off completely, put an actual lighter weight on so the bait sinks slower. I don't, you know, quite a hefty weight there, an SSG on as my telltale shot when I'm laying on the bottom. Yeah, an SSG is going to drag that bait down just too quick. What I mean by clumsy is it's, see, that float starts to move, it starts to motor. What I mean by clumsy is it's making quite a hefty splash as it's going into the water, and maybe would disturb any decent rudd. Ideally you just want it to go into the water, gentle splash, float down, but this crosswind has got me forcing the cast a bit. There's obviously rudd out there over the baited area. Bit better. They come into the bank at a rate of knots. Look at her. Whoa, that's a better fish. So they're out there on the drop. They're out there on the drop, aren't they? I'd rather be on the drop a bit more delicate. As you can see, very crude. I've just moved my telltale shot up halfway. Still fishing with size 14 barbless. Still fishing with corn. It's making a bit of noise as it's entering the water. Really, I would be concerned about scaring any decent fish away with that splash. What a great looking rudd, didn't they? I hadn't planned on fishing for rudd today, really. If I had, I would have bought some bread and some floaters, but oh Jesus. So you get movement on the float, you know you've caught one. And they're nice, they're beautiful fish, aren't they? Look at them. Well, we've had loads and loads of rudd all around this size. We've lost the one big one. I said I won't go on about it, I've mentioned it about a million times. Loads that size. And slightly bigger, slightly smaller. But you know, we're catching plenty. There's plenty out there. Hope haven't spooked the big uns, but oh, it's a beautiful bar of gold. Lovely colours. Pleasure to catch. But carp rods haven't gone, and I say we've lost one good rod, so let's crack on, see if we can catch them more. I'm going to have a little bit of breakfast now, put some bait in, see if I can get them closer to the deck and get the bigger stuff. Well, we've been having a real tough time of it. The wind really got up. Really struggling to get any presentation. They're still coming, still about the same size. We haven't had any big ones yet. But it was a real torrid hour. You just couldn't get any baits out at all. Not on the drop anyway. You could on the deck, but we weren't getting bites. So we're in again, catching rudd. Let's hope there's some big ones about. Well, we're specimen hunting on a drain after carp and big rudd, even tench. But that's a lovely bream. Really had some power in it. That's a great thing about drains and rivers. The fish have real power. Well, here we go. First proper fish of the session. Hopefully not the last. Let's get this one back. Oh my days, that's a happy, happy days. The wind dropped just a little bit. I can see bubbles in and around the float. I pulled a couple more jaffers in within 5 minutes. Lift bite. Fantastic bream, really put up a good fight. Also had a, I don't know if it's a liner or an abortive run on the right hand carp rod. I think it's a liner. The wind's changed direction ever so slightly, dropped off a little bit as well, give me a bit more shelter. I was just thinking about going back on the drop, and I thought, no, I'll wait, you know what I mean? I can see them bubbles. That was a lovely bream. That's hopefully, maybe there's a big shoal out there now, who knows. But you know, we're after big rudd, we're after big tench, and we're after big carp. Wasn't expecting to get a nice slab like that, so just goes to show you, you know, a lot of untapped potential on these drains and rivers, and you know, you've got to put in the work to get the results. Don't always get them. Let's crack on. Oh, well, I hope you can hear me. It's blowing a hoolie. That wind really killed the sport. You know, I started off very steady, 30-40 fish in the first hour. And it really picked up. I lost a big rudd. Then I was getting 50-60 fish an hour. Oh, you know, I showed you a couple. It was nothing special. We had a nice bream. Come 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, that wind really started howling through. And the sport just died. You know, I couldn't get them going at all. Nicking the odd fish on the bottom, nicking the odd fish on the drop. Carp didn't put in an appearance, but that's a, you know, that's a long-term project. But always a good day on the bank. Really appreciate you watching. Really appreciate all the views, all the comments, all the likes, all the shares. Keep it going, troops, and I'll see you on the bank real soon.